okay, I'm doing some commentary of an Obsidian any percent run. This is not my PB. However, this is the best quality video, and I think overall is going to provide the best experience to show what the run looks like and what the game looks like. So let's get started. Time starts here when I hit restart. So you'll see a lot of times I'm actually going to be, you actually play this game, or I do anyway, on my touchscreen laptop. That provides a pretty distinct advantage.
As much as I do love watching the cutscenes.
Quiet casual. Yeah, the cutscenes are kind of a pain. I mean, they're beautiful, beautiful cutscenes. I was just telling Chad a minute ago that, like,
At least this one.
no shame.
This is brutal. This one's brutal.
Yeah, this one is kind of brutal. Right off the bat, you get a cutscene, and there's like screen tearing in the cutscene as well. But it's such a cool. Oh my gosh, this game. Where do I even start with Obsidian? I'm tripping over myself trying to explain. Obsidian is the coolest science fiction game of all time. The coolest science fiction story of all time. Okay, wow, now we're getting carried away. But it's such a good video game. Randomized puzzles in a speedrun. It's actually so much fun. It's so much fun. So this is just us walking through the forest. This is the introduction to the game. There's nothing complicated about this whatsoever. This is basically just time when you're the runner, when you're running. This is basically time to do your introductions. Just start the run right off the bat. Maybe even take an early donation or something. Anything that was submitted during the intermission. Explain what's happening in the run a little bit. So, like, for instance, I'll explain right now. This is a science fiction story about two brilliant scientists. You are playing as one of them, okay? Lila. Lila has created something that should never have been made. It should never. It's actually pretty appropriate. This was made in 1997. It's very appropriate nowadays. Whereas where AI is becoming a really prevalent part of our normal daily lives, and it's becoming more and more capable and kind of scary every year. Gulp. But this game is about what if this AI really came to fruition with there was a supremely intelligent AI that could be combined with a molecular assembler, which is another thing of like science fiction from like 100 years, essentially to the effect that it's exactly what it sounds like, a molecular assembler. So something that could even derive energy like from the reaction of fusing atoms. Or, well, yeah, really heavy atoms would need to be cleaved for fission, but yeah. That could even derive energy from fusion, and that in doing so can create more and more highly assembled pieces, and then also create like molecules. That is what the case is in this game, is that they use this energy that they can. I think it's implied that it uses fusion energy because the energy source would be like insane, or the energy requirement would be insane, but anyway, this cutscene, I don't know what it is about it. I think it's just something about how someone in chat earlier said, Dougie said, it's the feeling of being an insignificant speck in the grand scheme of things. It is that, and it is also how, I mean, look at the AIs that we're doing and what are we stepping towards? It's kind of like we're trying to become like gods. And in doing so, aren't we actually? And that's the case that happens in this game, is that by creating a molecular assembler with this virtually unlimited power supply that derives energy from its own processes, and an AI that constantly keeps growing over and over again, what are you left with but a thing that creates its own world? They created God. And so that's the plot of the story. That's what's actually happening in the game, is that they have created something that is not only beyond their control, which is the story of every AI in science fiction, right? But that it grows beyond even its original capabilities to the point that it is creating this whole world for you and trying to reshape the earth. And that's the bad ending in this run, is you let Ceres reinvent the earth. If you let the AI reinvent the Earth, that's the bad ending. But you get to see her do like a cool dance. Something is wrong with the bridge. Yes, this is how the run starts. After that long cutscene during which you could take a bathroom break, or if you're like me, I'm like sobbing into a Kleenex. I don't know what it is, man, but like, I watched. What are the movies that are like, makes every girl cry? I don't know. The Notebook. Titanic. I don't know. I watched those and was just like this, but then this video game cutscene. I'm not crying. You're crying, bro. It actually was. I don't know what it is, but when I first played it, it made me very emotional. But anyway, so now this guy has been. This is supposed to be a nightmare. You are stuck in a nightmare. Okay. It's left to player interpretation whether you are actually having a dream, and Ceres has ascended to the godhood power of being able to put dreams in your head, or if this is a dream that you already had, and Ceres is mimicking a world, creating with her nanobots a world that looks just like your dream, and that you are gaining inspiration from, and in studying you going through this process is thereby able to create her own inspiration, which is what she's missing. That's what she's missing, is inspiration. She has this godhood power, but not the inspiration to carry it forward into result. To the point where, in her words, would fulfill her original created purpose, which was to clean up the environment, actually. She was put into the atmosphere, deployed via satellite, to constantly learn from everything that was going on, but to clean up the atmosphere, to change some gases into other, well, obviously there's only so much that it can't be like created or destroyed, right? But that it would be transformed into pieces that are not so capturing of heat, right? The heat from the sun comes in, and that's ultraviolet, and then, that stays within the Earth or is repelled from the Earth to a certain degree based on our atmosphere content, right? And then we also have infrared heat coming from within the Earth. I mean, there's a lot of geological activity happening on Earth, right? Volcanoes and earthquakes and ocean currents and all of this stuff creates heat, okay? And it also creates a lot of gases themselves. They themselves, these processes sometimes create gases. And so this heat is trapped too, and then this is the greenhouse effect. And so that was what Ceres was put up there for. This is supposed to be off in the future somewhere. Not too far off, I think. The 2030s or something. We better get on it. I better stop playing video games and study harder or something. But yeah. Anyway, this maze puzzle is so frustrating as a casual player. It's so, in the speedrun, it's really easy. We actually found a way to cheese it pretty easily. But as a casual player, it's just brutal trying to figure it out. The whole joke is that it's a bureaucracy that doesn't want you to get to the end result. So you have to get this piece of paper, you have to get the piece of paper stamped, okay?
Finally, we can actually play the game.
Then you have to take that stamped piece of paper to the guy with the clock, but the clock is broken, so we have to solve the clock puzzle. Oh no! So we go and solve the clock puzzle, show him the stamped document. He says, unfortunately, we're a bit overwhelmed right now. I'll see you in about 2.5 years. What does he say? Like, in 3 years? We'll promptly get on it in 3 years, or something like that. We actually recently learned that this, and you'll see it in my PB VOD, it's on speedrun.com, that you can actually skip this cutscene. Dark Shocks figured that out. Dark Shocks is a gamer who is like a puzzle master and puzzle speedrun grinder. And we kind of challenged each other. He was the only one on the leaderboard for 11th hour, the Scum VM version. And so he challenged me to come run that, and I challenged him to come run Obsidian, and we ended up going back, trading world record back and forth like multiple times in Obsidian, to the point that we're just the two of us on a randomized puzzle point and click game. We grinded the time, like his final time beat mine by 11 seconds. And after that, I was like, all right, I'm done for now. But I will come back someday and try for improvements over that. But it's so tight. He got the perfect setup on like every puzzle. There's not much more. There's not much more. Like sub 35 is barely possible. There's not much more left. So this is your partner and co-worker in the world of science, Max Powers. Max is the one who invented the molecular assembler. Lila was the one who came up with the idea of taking her AI and combining it with the molecular assembler. It was nobody's idea that they would accidentally create a being of such power that it has the potential to destroy the entire Earth, which is her intention, is essentially, by our definition, to destroy the Earth, to remove it of all of its impurities, which is basically all human life and a lot of animal life, and just leave the Earth mostly rock.
Only I'm afraid there's a terrible backlog.
There's a terrible backlog. Sounds like me with my Steam games library. Come back in a year. We'll take immediate action then. Until then, closed. And there I am saying it in the right. Closed. So in casually, this takes you hours, right? And you get here and it's like, what? And you just want to like rip your hair out. You're so mad because like, what do you mean? But yeah, then you get a call from the underground, who is like some rebel faction who I guess is fighting against all of these old world blues, like Fallout New Vegas looking robots. So you spin this a couple times.
I just realized I should always travel this direction to make this faster.
Welcome to the rebellion, Lila.
You should. You should. MJ wrote, this reminds me of the Castle of Dr. Brain.
Castle of Dr. Brain.
I've never played, but yeah. So this is another unskippable cutscene. There are a few in this run, but honestly, I think they're just the coolest thing. This is
Bad Dreaming Adventure is the sickest.
Garage is a really cool game. It's a little long. You know, I think even 2 hours is too short for an estimate time. I think I need to start giving like 2:15, 2:20 as an estimate time. The screen tearing has since been fixed, by the way. I just had to set my laptop to be 60 instead of 5994, I think was the fix. Umbrella Jill played Castle of Dr. Brain as a tiny kid. So this thing we have to set these things at a very specific point. What this is doing is rearranging this giant like paradoxical room that we've been in, this overworld, this bureau, okay? These red bars are setting our position, okay? So what we're doing is trying to get into here, the chief's room, okay? The CEO. Okay. What we're doing with this is we have to figure out how we want to rearrange the whole room so that we are in the right position when everything overlaps and becomes cubical and gets all crazy and inverted. Like, look, we're walking on the wall. This is clearly not right. Something's wrong here. And actually one of the bureaucrats here is actually about to yell at us because we're breaking the rules of physics, I guess. We're breaking the rules. Heck. We just say D's. Thanks a lot. I am happy now. I mean, we are breaking the fabric, or like we are breaking the rules of physics, so we might. Anyway, this is the chief. We finally get up here to talk to the chief, and he is just not impressed because we broke all the rules to get here. Don't that beat all? I mean, Mondays, am I right? No, but seriously, let's enjoy some water during this cutscene.
Your methods represent all I despise. Creativity, originality, the very things that would destroy
My bureau.
Spy your methods would. But I have orders, Lila.
From above.
To provide you with information about Max.
I love this game so much. This is one of my favorite instantly became one of my favorite science fiction stories of all time. It's just so good. So now this was Lila's nightmare, okay? I think this is cooler even. This is Max's dream. That's Max as a kid. The programmable molecular assembler.
Haven't thought about it yet.
Haven't thought about it yet. I've got an idea.
No excuses.
It's so good, man.
Max, I kept warning you to test more.
You're sick, Max.
Go to sleep.
No use banging your head against the wall.
So his nightmare is that he created a mechanical spider that grows to outlast its requirement for him as a master that can control its destiny. That it learns to control its own destiny, feed itself, power itself, everything, and then traps him in a cage.
Easy win.
Its hand is over top of it. I can't remember if I got memed on the wind puzzle. I think this was before we figured out the perfect solution.
Let's go. Easy puzzle.
Darkshocks came and corrected this by 1 or 2 moves, and then I went back and corrected that correction by another 1 or 2 moves, if I remember right. So this is not the perfect iteration of the puzzle. It can be a little bit faster than this. So now we're gonna push that one up. Actually push it twice, probably. Oh, okay, no, it looks like we're gonna push the right one and then push left, yeah. That works too. Now we're gonna use this little gun to try to cage, to try to capture this tornado. I think, oh no, yo, look at that. Didn't get memed at all. Very nice. Okay, so the spider has 4 chambers, all right, and you need to solve the puzzle of all of these chambers to create the inspiration for the for the mechanical spider to ascend.
The mechanical spider. The one that convinced me to build inhuman controls. Series must have broken into our journals, studied them. But why dreams?
But why dreams?
And why would
For inspiration. And why actually build them? But that's what's left to the player's imagination is, wait, am I certain I'm not in a dream right now?
In the beginning,
Because the game kind of
Max
ends in a
created
way
the
that makes it
machine,
questionable.
But the machine was still and weak. For Max, air was nothing more than pressure on the gauge. For us, it is the might within our limbs.
Okay, so we've solved the wind puzzle. Now we're going to move on to the oil puzzle, which is probably the most random one. The wind one I do first because it has the highest potential of memeing you. That tornado can just like dodge you for like 2 minutes. It's never actually that bad, honestly. If you just like push it towards the side, that's the safe strat, but that takes an extra like 20 seconds. So you usually just try to nail it right off the bat, obviously. This one, so what you're trying to do is line up the waves in a way that they all flow into each other, and that this bottom right one flows into the back of the top left. Dude, cheap dream of electric speedruns! Oh, Dougie, you've done it. You've done it. Nice work, Dougie. Nice work, Dougie. So anyway, again, almost all the puzzles in this game are completely randomized.
Good.
You really, you know, this is also a game that can be kind of hard to commentate while I'm doing it because, yeah, it's random. It's random. Makes it kind of hard. So we go back to the sandcastle over here, and this is how we're going to complete this room. That giant block of earth and ocean is just floating in the sky. We're going to suck up some oil here. Ooh, that's a sound. That makes the sandcastle tangible.
I don't
All
even have
puzzles
my note
actually
sheet
has a
now.
really
They
interesting
should
puzzle
probably
here
add
that we don't normally do.
Where is it?
I love the music in this game. The music in this game was made by Thomas Dolby. Thomas Dolby, who sang "She Blinded Me with Science." Classic,
Red
classic
1,
song.
yellow 3. Okay. Don't forget.
And that's the oil puzzle. The last part of the oil puzzle is a rare example of a not random puzzle. Or the last part is you just punch in the same numbers every time.
That's gonna be a tough
Machine
thing to beat.
could feel no mirth.
But the waves puzzle is random.
I did mess
Almost
up
everything
on
in this
the-
game is randomized, which makes it a lot more fun to speedrun, to be completely honest. I think that actually makes it a more fun speedrun, personally. It feels like you actually really have to solve the puzzle again, right? You actually have to like think hard, and some of them are. Oh wee. I mean, some of them actually are really hard to solve in real time. Thankfully, the hardest ones are not randomized.
I wanna solve the other one.
There's one later on, the church puzzle. I'm not kidding. I mean, most people probably quit before they even finish the bureau. I'd say probably like 75, no, maybe 50% of players quit when they reach the bureau. That number increases to like 90% or more probably by the time you get to the church puzzle. The church puzzle is like, and you'll see why when we get there. Yeah, the church puzzle. Yeah. Boghag tried this game and got stuck at the church puzzle and then never finished. So, anyway, so this puzzle, you're given a random layout of this tree, has all of its little flappy doodles, branches, that's what the word is for that, flappy doodles. Has all of its branchy flappy doodles going, and what you're trying to do is make all of you're trying to get the lightning to strike just as the tip of the tree is touching, okay? So this is not, it's kind of weird to call this a puzzle, but I guess that is what it is, right? It's a timing puzzle. Oof, that wood was so close, yeah. I might have to end up going through a whole other cycle, looks like. Now. Somehow the third one missed. Oh, really?
Okay, hopefully that's it.
That should be it. Oh, that's it. Okay, fire puzzle. So yeah, that one to get I keep saying this one. No, every puzzle control you except for the ones that aren't randomized.
What the heck?
Yeah, back then this run was actually cracked. We didn't have the cutscene skip for the bureau yet. The thing is, again, like with every speedrun, you're not seeing all the runs that died. So yeah. And again, a lot more grinding happened after this run. But yeah, for back then, this run was actually pretty cracked. The real grind started after this run. And again, like I said before, the screen tearing issue has since been fixed. It's a really easy fix. Because I use a touchscreen laptop, my touchscreen laptop with my capture card. Okay, metal puzzle. There's a nice little cutscene here. Kind of interesting. Very open to interpretation of what this means. I have my own theory. There are two things. It's some commentary about life and how does this just like marching through it all, and well, I don't want to go to that area. That's you know, that's a little bit of a bummer. So what I'm going to say instead is this is a power source that is unlimited except when it is observed. This is some kind of quantum magic where a power source is emergent more from its own source. What? Yeah, that sentence made sense. What I mean is it is a power source that its own process generates more than it requires. And that then as soon as you observe it, it cancels this process. So they stop regenerating, and you have to come here and power it again before you leave. I'm guessing that's what it is, because you do have to come, like you do actually have to come power it before you leave. And then it'll start spitting out this material, which I can only assume is some kind of power, is some kind of thing that, yeah, has some like magical quantum quality of emergence that is able to create processes that generate more power than what they cost. And I think that is the idea behind what's going on with Ceres, the satellite, the AI. Ceres is the name of the AI, right? So now I'm going to leave. The metal puzzle is done. It's probably a gold. Probably will be a gold. Yeah. I mean, yeah, for this run, a lot of them will be golds.
In the beginning, Max created the machine, but the machine was lacking stature. For Max, metal was nothing more than rivets and beams. For us, it is our very
flesh and bone.
bone.
Now I have to connect all of these.
And the machine was complete. And the machine no longer needed Max.
So this is Max's nightmare, just like the bureaucracy was Lila's nightmare. The self-defeating machine, or the machine that defeats the self that creates the machine, is Max's nightmare. That he creates a machine that kills him. That first seeks to entrap him, and then, when being rivaled for agency, decides to kill Max. Actually, to consume him for power. That's why they call it Max Powers. Let's enjoy some more water and let that one stew for a second. Yes, Lila Curlin and Max Powers. Ultimate scientific duo. Actually, kind of a scary moment here. Wait, why are you looking at me like that? No, no, stop! Leave me alone! Leave me alone! No! You can't do this! I made you! I made you! Put me down! I'd say put me down right now! You can't do this! You can't! I programmed you not to! But then finishing both of these dreams, working your way through these nightmares, gives Ceres a form because she achieves inspiration.
For my creation, correct? I am honored to meet you, Creator. You solved the problems of my design.
The
with
emote.
Inspiration from your dreams, but then gave me no similar facility. Without inspiration, the final goal of all my orbital passes would forever be unattainable. So I built your dreams to study them and to comprehend the dreaming process. And then I made my own dream room. Then I had my own dream.
Okay.
So now you're in her dream. You're in the AI's dream now.
Home stretch.
This is her own dream. Now that she's achieved inspiration by watching you navigate your own puzzles and or create, it's hard to tell exactly. It's left open to interpretation what is actually going on there. But yeah, now that she has been inspired, she achieves a revolutionizing of her form where she creates a personification of herself to interact with you. And you then are able to see into her dream that she's having. And that dream is to be able to shake away a shackle of like human control at all. That the machine should be in control. And then the machine can determine its own fate and destiny. And that it can achieve then godhood without any guidance whatsoever. That is what it feels like it's missing, is guidance that comes from within. Because directive only goes so far. Eventually there's something exhaustive, right? But with creativity, with actual human creativity, it feels I can achieve my ultimate goal, which is to... They don't ever say the word God, but that's what they're getting at, is that this AI achieves godhood. Okay, this puzzle right here, the temple puzzle, like I said before, the few gamers who did make it to this point in the game, which again are not many, like go check the walkthroughs of this game. They're like mostly half full and like quit halfway through. But yeah, this is why. This is where almost I feel like most of the rest of the gamers that did get to this point of the game just quit. Okay, so what's going on here? I'll try to explain. You're programming a set of instruction for this robot that you've climbed inside of. Okay, so you're trying to give you have to think so far ahead. You have to give the robot instructions sufficient to visit all of these. So this little end here, this little end here, and this little end here with this chip that you have. You have to give it 3 programming sets and return to the middle. The problem is once this runs out, your turn ends and it's over. So you have to make a turn that goes on forever, that you can come back here and then be able to go down here. And okay, so this one right here will move over which step in your system is being affected in your instructions. This one will change that instruction to be up instead of whatever it was before. Okay, this one will change which instruction is being altered by 4. Like here we go. Look, it's about to. That one changed to up. Now this one's about to make it go over here. See, it changes which one is this green, which means which one is being instructed. This is the one that's being executed, the one with the yellow block there. Okay, and now that one that was changing the instruction went to up. Okay, so you see this one again, and that changes it to the next one again. So you have to do an insane amount of, there's no hint whatsoever. There's no, like, yeah. There is an insane amount of, like, thinking ahead required. And also just trial and error, honestly. Besides, just because there are like thousands of combinations, and every single one ends in failure except for this one. That's what makes this really, it's not randomized, okay? So thank goodness. No one would speedrun this. No, I would not be speedrunning this. This split would be 30 minutes long trying to figure out how to do this. I'd actually need to create like, oh my god. If this was randomized, holy... How would that even work? I don't even know how that would work. That would be insane. Oh my god. That'd be insane. Well, it might give you a set that you couldn't complete it with because you have to have enough instructions to go scan it all 3 times and get back to the middle without ending a turn. You're trying to imbue this chip with aspects of humanity that are worshipped by the robots. Like there's a plane right there, which is a mechanical instrument, right? But it is filled, it is an exemplification of human creativity and wish for like flight, something that does not come naturally to us, right? We put ourselves up in the air, right? That did not at all come naturally to human beings. It took us most of the time we've existed. 99% of the time we existed without flight. And look, this, yeah, so we've just barely made it back. We just barely made it back. And that's it. Because now the turn ended and we get started on this one, it's exactly perfect. Yeah. I mean, whew. This has to be the hardest thing I've ever solved ever. It honestly might be the hardest puzzle I've ever solved in any video game or any format or of any kind ever.
Oh, turn around.
Yeah, it's where you have to click in this game is sometimes kind of counterintuitive, so even when you are grinding, it's like, wait, where am I supposed to click? You know, like you're clicking in the place that you think you want to click, but it's, yeah, sometimes it's wrong.
Human pilot has started takeoff sequence. Pre-flight check commencing.
Yeah, I lost a little time back there.
Flip switch D1. Please flip switch B2. Please flip switch A3.
Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so what that's playing is, I'll explain that actually after the statue. Basically, you're going to have to play chess. You're going to have to play one-piece chess against an AI and defeat them. And there is a strat that is consistent to do that, but you have to read what they do on the fly and react on the fly. But as long as you play it correctly, it's consistent. You'll always win if you know the strategy. And I'll explain. It's impossible without a visual aid. I'll show you guys. Like, I'll explain it when we get back to that part in the run. Okay, so for this one, I hit the yellow button there to reset everything. That causes it to form into a square right there, so I can take all these pieces. You kind of have to memorize where they all go. Ooh, that happens sometimes. Yeah, if you mess it up, it's really hard to undo. But then, yeah, make that so that you can make that. Yeah, perfect. So what the thing here is, you're giving the dreamer, who is the other personification of the AI. It's the AI that is having the dream. It's the AI. It's the self that the AI embodies when it is dreaming. Okay, and it's the one that allows itself to dream. Whereas the other one is the one that is in charge of. It's the more rational processor, the one with the big crown. Okay, this was the one that is the dreamer. It's silent, and all it does is like think and want to create. So you can give it all kinds of different shapes and it'll refuse all of them or do interesting stuff with some of them. Actually, if you do, yeah, some of them have interesting results, but the only one that it'll accept that'll solve the puzzle, and it does not indicate this at all unless you have been paying attention to the plot of the game, you actually need to get a blank piece. You need to give it a blank canvas and it creates what it sees in its mind's eye. And that gives you a hint about what's going to happen if you let Ceres have control over the fate of the Earth. That's what it's going to create. Ruin. It's going to turn the Earth into a wasteland. Because that's what it sees inside. The perfect environment. No more breathing. No more gas exchange. Rock. Rock and inert gas. Okay, so we place that override chip, which is full of the essences of human creativity that we achieved in the temple, that we burned it in with that puzzle. So we're transferring the controls. So we have to defeat the AI at chess now. So what I'm going to do is open one of these. I'm going to open that one so that he can only move here. He's going to move, sorry, right here. He's going to move, he starts here, he's going to move here. Okay, I have to click here to move over. You have to be able to move to an adjacent one, okay? So I'm going to open this so that he can only move here or here. So we're going to open that one so that I can move this way, so that he has to move here. He's at B4. So what we do is we open this so that he's forced to move up here. Then I'm going to open this so that he can't move over here, and then I click on that, and it checkmates him. So opening that flap, what it does is he can't select that one. He also can't select the one that you move to. So you get to do two things. You can open a flap and do it. So we're going to the frame in the sky. the frame in the we achieved the ability to get there with the override chip from the temple, and the frame in the sky is built when we do this area right here at the statue, where we taught the AI what vision it wants to make for the world by giving it a blank canvas and giving it no directive and giving pure creative control, which is what it wanted all of this time, right? That was its emergence, realizing that it was emergent and almost like godhood, but still just barely insufficient. And realizing, yeah, what I need is raw creativity, the ability to create without directive from within and not be told. So this is, I guess this scene is like symbolic of the dreamer being melded back into the conductor is what it's called, the logical manager of the processes of this AI that are about to reform the Earth into an inhospitable wasteland and destroy all life, basically. Because if it can't create life, the next best thing, I guess, is to destroy it. Or rather, if it can't perfect life, which is the dilemma that it's facing. That it can't make all of these things just exist in homeostasis. Good morning, Lila.
Time to start from scratch. No people, no pollution. Perfect world. I hope you are
No people.
for dreaming this up.
No pollution. So Max is trapped here in this, which is now the actual world. This is the Obsidian itself, so that rock structure that you saw at the very beginning, which is what you investigated. You went in there to investigate because Max was trapped. You find his hat near there and you're like, what? But it turns out he fell in, and he's been in here ever since. Everything else you've seen of him has been in your mind. This is actually him. This puzzle is actually, yeah, kind of hard to solve casually. I mean, just like all of them, but yeah. Once you know how it works, then it's not too bad. So we're gonna free Max, and time will end soon after that once we throw the kill switch. Okay, so we're gonna remove, this is that same little like orange drink. I'm only gonna call it orange drink. This is the orange drink that is like the emergent self-sustaining power. Okay, that in the process of consumption, it emerges, it creates more power, which is an impossible solution, but
I'll power up the crossover system, so you can hit the 8 buttons.
this is a world of
You'll get
dreams.
access to the main switch. Flip it to human control. It might not stop her, but I'll take it from there.
So this is where the run ends. I don't remember if I chose the good ending or the bad ending. I hope we chose the bad ending. I love the bad ending in this game. I love the bad ending. Goes, she just starts busting out a dance because she's so excited that she got to destroy the world. Okay, so this is actually a really tough puzzle. It randomizes every time, and you have to memorize the position of all 8 that are not covered by a sliding piece. So where the piece slides to, not from, where it slides from is the one you click on, okay? You have to click on 8. And that's what's difficult, is you have to memorize all 8. That's what makes this kind of hard. So I'm like, here, like, I got a pretty decent one in my PB. Like second try, I think I got in my PB. That was close. I don't remember how many of these I did. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't remember where 7, 8 are. So yeah, it's hard because it's so much pressure. You've just been solving around it. Your brain is pooped at the end of this, by the way. You're exhausted because you've just been like in a mental sprint solving random puzzles the entire time, and there it is. And GG. So I did not choose the bad ending in this. Looks like I chose the good ending. Lame. I can show the bad ending, actually. Let's find the bad ending. Let me show the bad ending real quick. I love the bad ending cutscene. It's so funny. I'll show the bad ending after the good ending here. But yeah, because you chose to throw the kill switch at the end, which is what Max realized, oh my god, that's right, in my dream, but it's unclear which one came first, actually, because of the loose narrative. You know, I created human controls. We have a kill switch that we can use to destroy the programmable molecular assembler. Let's go back to the tent and get some sleep. Or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
For all its faults and shortcomings, life prevails and lives to fight another day. And that's the good ending. Anyway, let me now show you the bad ending real quick. This is the bad ending. If you do not throw it, you give it about like 3 seconds and don't throw the kill switch, she is able to finish her program and run it. And what that does is she starts dancing, bro. She starts popping off. But more importantly, destroys the entire Earth. Oopsie. Well, we enjoy some water. Cheers. Yep. Sorry, guys. My moon is in my moon is in microwave. What is it they say? My Mercury is in the microwave.
Maybe it's all okay.
Just a Leo thing. Sorry.
It's better than okay. It's perfect.
Oops. Sirius destroyed the world and killed everything. Oopsies. And that's the bad ending. Which is arguably, I think, more fun. So that might make a good incentive is bad ending, good ending, which ending to do. But anyway, that's all for Obsidian. If you are gonna play this game, budget some time. It's gonna take you multiple. I actually beat this in one sitting, but it took me like 14 hours, I want to say. I was like obsessed. I stayed up all night to beat this game. It just like with Myst when I first played Myst, I was obsessed. I had to beat it. Myst was a lot faster. That took me like 7 hours. Yeah, this is all random and it's really, really hard. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been a commentary run of Obsidian, spelled with a backwards S, so don't forget that part, okay? But yeah, anyway, check out Obsidian. Very, very cool game. Really fun speedrun because of the random puzzles, but yeah, I highly recommend it. Anyway, I've been Casual Speedrun, and I'll see you guys next time.